everybody, and welcome to our Connecting the Dots podcast. My name's Susan McGhee. I'm your host for today's show and Chief Exec and Founder at Flexible Childcare Services Scotland. Today, I'm delighted to have in the studio with me my colleague Alison Findlater, who leads on our software solutions kind of work within FCSS. So we're much more than just a childcare delivery organisation. We're really trying to make a difference and scale our work in any way that we can. And Alison's joined us today to tell us some of the work that she does around that area of the business. So Alison, welcome.
Hi.
To start the conversation today, would you like to tell our listeners something about your journey to where you are today, your role, what kind of things you do in your role? So just a bit about you and who you are.
Okay, well, my background's not actually in software development. I come from an educational resources or selling educational resources background, as you know. Let's see, in 2020, I think I happened upon you at a early years conference, and you had purple bendy pens, purple bendy pens. and I was like, one of those pens. I sidled up to see what you were doing, and you started to tell me about flexible childcare services, and you were talking about how you were going to be building a software to help scale the model. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I don't suppose there's any jobs going. And you said, well, we are actually looking for a software development manager. So I thought, I'm going to give that a go. So I jumped on the bandwagon, went for the interview, got the job. And 6 years later, I've been working on developing the software. So it started off as a flexibility pathway. And we started building that, and then everything had to kind of grind to a halt because of COVID. Build something that would help parents, key workers, find childcare. So we built a kind of light version, which has now actually become our marketplace, where parents could log in and look for available childcare. So that's really what since then we've moved on. We've now got Caerus. It was rebranded, and it's now Caerus, and it's a fully functioning childcare management system and a marketplace for parents to find, book and pay for childcare.
Brilliant. Okay. So for people who don't know then what a childcare management system is and what it does, do you want to just tell us a bit about Caerus, what it does, what the functionality is, what it is, just more about the product itself now, if that's okay.
Sure, yeah. So a childcare management system is obviously designed to help a provider run their business. So bookings, checking the children in and out, rotas. We've actually got development diaries as well. And what Caerus does is it offers that childcare management system, but also with the added bonus of being with the ability to book flexibly. So it means that a parent can actually register on the system if they're connected with a service, and they can book sessions, ad hoc sessions, right up to the last minute if the provider wants them to, while the provider still remains in control. The provider can then go in and they can see all their availability and open up any additional spaces.
Brilliant. And we know from our own work at Flexible Childcare Services that the huge difference being able to book childcare flexibly makes for families, because lots of traditional models of childcare tend not to work for modern working life, do they? And particularly not for families who are struggling, perhaps in low-income jobs or trying to return to work. So that being able to book flexibly that Caerus offers is a really important part of that product and that journey in helping families to get back to work, to retain and remain in work, and to improve outcomes for themselves and their children. So it's going beyond what a standard childcare management tool would offer in that aspect.
So 9 to 5 is no longer the norm, and parents they can't afford to pay for childcare that they're not needing, and it's trying to move providers away. Then we're not saying they have to be 100% flexible. They can still have their existing rigid models, but they can free up any additional spaces flexibly as well, which makes it more affordable for parents and allows them to get back to work or study or that sort of thing.
And at a challenging time for the childcare sector like it is at the moment, when people are worried about funding rates that they're paid from local authorities, they're worried about recruiting for their workforce, all of those kind of things, that ability to be a bit more flexible can really help providers as well. It makes such a difference for people, and I guess how they run their business on a day-to-day basis. And I know that FCSS use the product across our services, but there are also other providers who are using the product, and I've had some really positive experiences from that in both the time it saves and the difference it's made to their business. So without naming anybody, because we're hoping to have some of those childcare providers on as guests in the future, do you want to just give an overview of the difference that the tool has made for providers?
Absolutely. So we've actually currently got about 150 providers registered on the system. Some of them are just purely advertising on our marketplace, so parents can find them and they can contact them through the system. We also have all our own services, and we have other services who are actually using the functionality in different ways. Some services are using the Stripe, and they're allowing their parents to book 100% flexibly and paying as they book, so they don't need to worry about any invoicing or anything like that. And others still like to keep control of the bookings themselves, but it gives them a means to control have an oversight of their registers, and the parents can see their bookings and that sort of thing. So it just makes them easier. I did actually take with me a couple of quotes. I won't mention names. I can read out the quotes.
Brilliant. Really great. It'd be nice to hear the voice of the product users. So,
So I've got one here that says, since introducing the Caerus booking system across our services, we've been able to offer families much greater flexibility. Parents can book sessions right up to last minute, which has made it significantly easier for families to access childcare when they need it most. It has streamlined our administration and helped us manage bookings more efficiently. That's one. I thought I'd better read them so I didn't misquote. And another one says, Caerus has been great for us to have all the children's information, especially allergies, dietary requirements, permissions, emergency contacts, etc., just a few clicks away. The daily register is also very handy for speed of registration at pickup and for looking back for information when required when analysing attendance, etc. Making bookings is easy and makes it so much simpler for advanced planning of spaces available. Not to mention the trees we're saving by not having to print documents for children's files, and also paper copies of registers getting wet or damaged or even lost.
And I guess that's a really important part of it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because we all are trying to be more environmentally friendly. Childcare providers, we are caring for and educating our youngest citizens, and they are the people who will be caring for all of us, no doubt, in our old age, but also that future. And we've got a responsibility to protect the world and to educate them in a way that they can do that. So setting that example by reducing the amount of paper a childcare provider uses is another really valuable aspect of going digital, I suppose, isn't it? So definitely.
Yeah, and because we do have that situation where we've got people using the system now, we know that it's a proven method of making bookings, and that parents will use it, and the future is flexible bookings and the using digital methods to do it as well.
Absolutely. And you mentioned development diaries. So tell us a little bit more about that. So we know the system does bookings. People can book flexibly on the system. You talked about the children's profiles being on there, so all of those kind of things. But you mentioned development diaries. So tell us a bit about what that is.
So a development diary it links up with the Curriculum for Excellence. So on there, the provider can record all the children's progression and so on, and link it to the areas of the curriculum, their observations and so on. So you can do a development diary with photographs and everything, and the provider puts that on, and immediately it's posted. The parents have access to it as well, so they can actually look at it. They can put a little thumbs up if they want, or they can put their own feedback on it as well. There's also daily diaries that can be used for the wee ones, so like the nappies, bottle feeds, when it comes to toilet training, that sort of thing too. And then there's milestones as well. So it's just a really nice way of communicating and linking up this parents as well.
Yeah. So it's a communication tool. It's a place to record children's development. It does bookings. It has children's profiles. You talked about being able to keep allergy and medication information on there.
Yes, it has all the children's details on there as well. So it's a good way. It's got emergency contacts and things like that too. So all the information you need for a child is there at the touch of a button. So that's good.
And what's your driver, the thing that really keeps you motivated and interested in this? You've been involved in the design of this through various evolutions, I guess, since we started working on it, because we've kind of followed the need at the time, and some of the COVID-related stuff sort of diverted some of that initial target, I suppose, for us. So what is it that keeps you motivated and helps you to think about the next steps and where Caerus needs to go?
Okay, so I think mainly it's seeing it evolve. It's been a long time coming, and when you see providers using it and the difference it's making to them, it just gives me such a good feeling, and I love to see the progression and just all the added benefits that it's got. And have a very close relationship with the providers that are using the system, and their feedback is so positive that it makes it feel good, and I know that it's going to make a difference in the future for families and also for providers when they are struggling, to help them free up that unused capacity and maybe get a little bit more income as well.
Brilliant, yeah. And those providers have an opportunity to be involved in the future design and development of the product.
So we've been working with Scottish Enterprise. We did a feasibility study, and we've actually just recently taken all the infrastructure for Caerus in-house, and the difference that's made is absolutely unbelievable. We've been able to turn things around, bug fix, add new features much quicker now. We can respond to any feedback or any little bugs or anything that are found immediately, and we have a really good ticketing system where people can put like a ticket up if they've found something that isn't working right, and we can just work our way through them and get them fixed. But with regard to future development, the Scottish Enterprise product, we started off with a feasibility study, and we've realised that the best route forward to scale is to focus on out-of-school clubs. It's a slightly simpler model, so we can build on that and make it more commercially scalable. And then with a view to moving on to do the same thing for nurseries and other childcare providers in the sector. The biggest part of that is making sure that we communicate with the people that are using it. So we've co-designed everything with childcare providers, and this next stage where we're going down the out-of-school care route will be with out-of-school clubs and also with the parents that will be using it on that side as well.
Brilliant. That sounds excellent. Really, really good. And I guess then your vision, where do you see this going? What sort of next steps? I mean, you've talked about the immediate things, but if you're looking into the future, 3 years, 5 years, that kind of thing, where do you see Caerus being then? What's its role going to be within the childcare sector?
Me personally?
Go for it. Yeah.
So I mean, my vision is that Caerus is the go-to for parents to find, book and pay for childcare. They will be able to access affordable, flexible childcare. And from a provider point of view, it will be the platform that encourages and enables all childcare providers, not just in Scotland, but nationwide and eventually the world, to be able to offer some form of flexibility in their models.
Brilliant. So we're talking not just here about scaling Caerus as a digital tool for childcare providers, we're actually talking about scaling a model of flexible childcare to take that benefit to so many more children and families. And we know from our own practical delivery of childcare within flexible childcare services that in 24-25 financial year, 100% of our parents reported being better off financially, and collectively that was for £2.13 million. I imagine if you can scale that
I know.
across initially Scotland, then the UK and beyond, the difference that would make in tackling child and family poverty and the outcomes that for children that would result from that. So yeah, there's massive benefits, I guess, from that, and where we can take it next, aren't there? So yeah, okay, perfect. And anything that you've not had the opportunity to tell us about yet as we've been chatting about Caerus? It's such an exciting time for the product at the moment. It's going through, it's come in-house, as you said. It's going through lots of new development. It's at a time of perhaps challenge and instability in the childcare sector, and we know that brings with it opportunity. So we're here at a time of opportunity, in a position where we're doing really exciting development work, working with providers to co-design. Anything that you've not had the opportunity to talk about or tell us about the product, because you live and breathe it every single day.
It just becomes a daily routine. It's kind of a habit thing. But I think because we're now looking to build it on a more commercially scalable model, it's been amazing to see like the changes that are being made to it. We're changing the design so it looks much more professional, and I'm really excited to work with the providers, the out school club providers and the parents to see how that moves forward, and then start getting out there and meeting people again, because I feel like I've just been behind my desk for so long and not really had that opportunity to go out and show what we're doing. And
I guess there's something valuable about that, isn't there? Spending that time desk space really researching and understanding and looking at the data and what the product might be able to do, so that's really clear and we've got a good understanding of that before going out and telling the world about what it can and can't do and what difference we think it will make. So I think there's certainly a value to that. But you're right, the most important and the most fun bit of any of these things is being out there amongst the people that are using it and benefit from it, isn't it? And getting their input.
That kind of throws back to my educational sales days as well, when I used to love going and selling to people with a product that I believed in, and I really believe in Caerus, and the difference I can see in it now. It's like, this is going to be the product that they're going to need. It's really going to serve a purpose. So. Yeah.
And of course, as it continues to grow and develop, there's opportunities for lots of other things to become part of it, isn't there? At the moment, it's get that core thing right around the ability to manage the bookings, to do the rotas, to manage all the staffing, the parents' payments, the development record, all of those things. I mean, there's loads in it already, but there are opportunities for it to shape and evolve as the sector and the families need into the future. It's one of those kind of things, I guess, where as soon as you stand still, you actually start going backwards. So it's going to always be a work in progress in some ways, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And working with the parents and providers, again, you can keep that going, and every piece of feedback is good feedback, whether it's bad or good, it's a way to improve it for the future and find out what the needs are for all sectors. So.
And we would hope then that there would be benefits for local authorities around that childcare sufficiency and how to ensure that there is enough childcare in the right places for families and some of the data that can be gathered from that. So again, there are other benefits of the future that can come from this, that particularly helped by that volume of users, which is one of the drivers, I guess, for the building the number of providers and families that are actually using the system. So there's some valuable data in there.
Yeah, I should have mentioned the data side of it as well, because there's all the data that comes out of the back of it as well that's going to be invaluable.
Yeah, which is of course anonymised and aggregated, so we're not doing anything with people's data that we shouldn't be doing, but it does give those stats and that overview of what's going on in the world of childcare and what's going on for the families that are searching for and trying to find the childcare that they need to enable them to work and to create the flourishing families that are the desire of the Tackling Child Poverty Plan in Scotland. So we think it's going to be a real contributor to that, don't we? So yeah, brilliant. Good stuff. Thank you so much, Alison, for joining me in the studio today. It has been a pleasure to talk to you. We chat all the time on a work basis, but quite often on Teams. So it's nice to actually be sitting together in the studio talking about the work we do and the incredible benefits that we think Caerus will bring to children, families and childcare providers. So,
exactly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.